circling your head, contemplating everything you ever said. Now I see the truth, I got it down. A different motive in your eyes, and now I'm out. See you later. I see your fantasy. You wanna make it a reality, bathing gold. See inside of our heads, yeah. Well, now that's over. I see your motives inside. Decisions to hide. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong. Headstrong, we're headstrong. Back off, I'll take you on.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Paradigm Shift Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host. I'm the moderator, Mr. William D. Morgan, and I have four of my co-hosts right here, side by side with me. First person we're gonna go to right now, we're gonna go up to the great province of Canada. We're going to Maple Leaf Country. My man Gene Emerson. Gene, how you doing, bro?
Hey, welcome to the Paradigm Shift. We are live and in color as we normally are on this lovely and beautiful Wednesday evening. And everybody watching, I just cannot wait to see how the Aces and Eights tournament turns out. It's going to be a doozy, and can't wait for that. Getting back to you there, Mr. William Morgan.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now we're going to roll back stateside. And this man was on assignment last week. He was on assignment, but now we have him back again with us this week. My fellow New Orleans Saints fan, Brandon, how you doing, bro?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
We're doing good, man. Can't complain, man.
Tonight is going to be a very, very great episode of the Paradigm Shift, and I'm excited, probably more than anybody else of you jokers. I'm excited about what's taking place tonight.
Yes, sir. This is an 8. All right, now we're staying in the great United States of America. I'm gonna roll over to the man with the whatever book he has.
Real quick, if you're in the comments, click the link up top. Click the link up top so we know who you are.
Whatever book he has in front of him, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to the man who is representing the superpowers here in the Aces and 8's tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring in my brother Rob. Rob, how you doing, bro?
With a tear in my eye, I bring the words of Ric Flair, this biography, to the Paradigm Shift in public, if you will, like his great rival Dusty Rhodes, and we are ready for another exciting episode. Hi, Will.
Hey, look for that T-shirt coming soon. If you will. It's coming out soon, though. Go and buy it, man. All right.
It's going to be tougher to find than an AEW figure.
You'll get an AEW tonight. You'll get an AEW tonight for sure. And then, last but certainly not least, the creator of this show, the creator of this very show, my XFL buddy, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in Josh. Josh, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, Will. Excited to be here tonight. Excited for this quarter/semifinals of the Aces and 8's tournament. Excited to dive back into some news of wrestling, though, too, man. It's been 2 weeks since we've discussed what's going on in the world of wrestling, and I am
Let's
ready.
first have a moment of silence for Josh's mustache because it's gone.
The goatee will return shortly. Real quick, in a moment of serious silence.
I think we're doing an official 10 bell.
There you go.
Oh, God.
We're only doing 2, one for each side of the mustache.
Oh, man. I got a lot we're going to talk about, guys. We'll get into the 8th of the 8s. Myself, Gene, we all got people still in there. Josh is going to help us judge. Brandon's going to help us judge. Definitely stick around for that. But first, we'll get into the news, all the news of professional wrestling. And for that, I'll take you over to Josh.
First things first, I know we were supposed to have Piers Austin on this week. Unfortunately, Piers had a family emergency he had to take care of. We hope to have Piers on real soon. We hope everything is well with his family and hope all's good. First things first, So I haven't gotten to do this in a couple of weeks. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm ready for the fantasy question.
Oh, Lordy.
I need pen and paper.
Okay, you have 30 wrestlers in the Rumble, and they last 1.5 minutes each. How much time is that?
All right, here we go.
You got the composition book. Damn, Gene.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
professional.
prepared.
You going back to high school.
Professional.
Damn.
What ninth grade did you steal that from?
He stole it from the school store, boy. His kids.
There you go.
High school's only like 2 blocks
right.
down from me, so.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, he walked.
y'all jabbering is giving me time to actually think of a new one, and I really like this one. So this one actually came up today. I think I shared it in the group. What is the one storyline in WWE that you feel they absolutely bombed that could have been amazing, and how? Don't go into the whole thing because that could be its own show in itself. But how could they have done it? And I will start. I know mine. It's Nexus. Nexus came out, did this dominant, destructive, destroyed crew, everything, and then
Retribution.
What was that, Ron?
Retribution. Sorry. I'll take on the throat there.
Super Cena putting the fist down, and Cena just put the kibosh on all of their momentum, and they were dead. And they literally destroyed what could have been one of the greatest factions in WWE history. All right, first, Brandon.
So, thank you for putting me on the spot.
You're welcome. If you're a fan in the comments, please click the link above so we can tell who you are.
Yeah, I was actually answering questions about that. I don't know what's going on with that. But
Yeah, I think I know what.
yeah. But I don't really know. I mean,
Ooh, I'm sorry, Facebook user. I have to put this up even though I don't know who you are.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, I think if used appropriately, the Shield would have been pretty dominant.
I mean, the Shield was pretty dominant. They were pretty
Well,
good.
they're pretty dominant.
They
Yeah.
would go one of the best.
But were they? But were they? Could they could have. It's debatable, but that's what I'm going with. I feel like if the reins had been, no pun intended, the reins been cut a little bit more, they could have done more of an Attitude Era-ish type, because they definitely had the look. They definitely should have had the feel. That's just me.
I think that comes with PG.
I think they also dropped the ball. I think they also dropped the ball with them when it came to other tag teams. I mean, you could have saw them. You could have saw them go against New Day for some good matches. You could have saw them do.
Yeah, we only got Shield versus New Day once, and that was during the Rebirth.
Yeah, but that could have been. But that could have been a feud in itself.
I'm gonna jump in here.
Shield to the top, like that faction was made just to push those three guys to the top, and then split them up.
I'm going to jump in here and say, to jump on what Brandon had already said, they did drop the ball with the Shield at the beginning, because you could have easily paired it with CM Punk, because they were building that feud. They were building that into the lead-in, and they dropped the ball, because we all remember the Royal Rumble that basically Vince McMahon had told CM Punk if the Shield got involved, then he would have to relinquish the title. And everything had happened. The lights went out. We didn't see the Shield, but we knew it was the Shield. And CM Punk played it off like, "Oh, what are you talking about? I don't know nothing about the Shield." It would have been really good if they had been able to at least pair them for a while and then get the Shield really hot and then make them turn on CM Punk or however they wanted to do it. But that's where I would agree with you on that, Brandon. That's where they dropped the ball there with the Shield.
I just thought you could have more. I think you just could have did more with them with other tag teams within there. They had the one shot with New Day, dropped it. They could have done so much more with them, and they didn't do it.
All right.
They did a one match with well, they had two matches with Evolution. The one match with the Wyatts,
Mhm.
which I would have loved to have seen a
I would have loved to
feud
see
between
more of
those
that.
two. The Shield and the Wyatt
A
family.
real feud between them three.
Yeah.
Oh, would have been
And
good.
Ambrose is already slung off too, so that would have been hilarious. That would have been great.
All right, well, what's your choice?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Yeah, you.
The NWO. WB's NWO.
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I just thought
They could have done that so much better.
the only thing memorable they did was kick my boy Booker T out of there. That's the only memorable thing they ever did. I just didn't like the way they did it. I think they half-assed it so bad. No plan, no direction. But,
Gee, oh man, it is great having you on the show just to watch everybody come after you.
I'm not coming after Gene, boy. Woo! Well, my name William. But I just think that they did a terrible job with the WB did a terrible job with the NWO. Terrible. They tried it and it fell flat on their face.
Hey guys, we are having an issue with comments. Just do what Mr. Drake is doing. Just tag your name at the end of it. That way we at least know who we're talking to.
Ooh,
To jump on you there, Will, the only thing that came good out of that MWO was the great WrestleMania we got, which is Icon versus Icon. But that came naturally and wasn't expected. I think that's what a lot of that blew that steam out of it, because then you had Hulk Hogan moving on. And now you have Scott Hall and Kevin Nash being thrown back into the sideline, which you do. They weren't expecting or anticipating something like that. So
yeah,
and that could have happened without the NWO.
That's it. And they got thrown to the sideline because Kevin Nash got his tore his quad on the way to catering. So
yeah, that was a big problem there.
Catering.
All right, Rob, your turn.
As soon as this question popped up and you said it, I knew the answer immediately. My answer immediately. And for me as an old school fan, got to go back to 2001. Vince McMahon purchases WCW, and we were having the invasion angle, and they screwed the pooch with that. Mainly not through their own. And I'll say this, not because of WWF at the time bad booking, but because
WCW gave all those guys guaranteed contracts.
And not only WCW guaranteed contracts, AOL Time Warner contracts that were not. And even if WCW folded, they were still getting paid. So there's no way I'm working if I'm getting guaranteed money. So you had guys like Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Bill Goldberg, DDP, Ric Flair, Sting, all of them were not going to be a part of the invasion angle. So we were left, sorry to say, we were left with guys with Booker T, Sean O'Hare, Mark Jindrak, a lot of others. Steiner was, he came later. He wasn't part of the invasion. But to me, the invasion could have been so much better, and it went bad, but it wasn't because of it wasn't WWE's fault. They just didn't have the major players.
But here's the question: because all of those guys became available and came to the WWE within a year of that, so should WWE held off the invasion angle? Like, would it have worked if they had tried to already pull it off a year later?
No, because what history showed us is that the whole thing was designed to make two different programs. You were going to have the Vince McMahon WWE and the Shane McMahon WCW. But what they did was they put a WCW championship match on WWE Raw. It was Booker T versus Buff Bagwell. And for lack of a better term, sorry, put the kids to bed, the fans shit on the match. It did not get any reaction, and Vince said, well, there goes the idea for a separate WCW show now.
Wasn't that in what? Wasn't that in? I can't think of what I forgot what that match was, but I know it wasn't in it. If they were in Atlanta, they probably could have did a lot more with that match.
Yeah. I'm
Because
gonna
WCW country.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly
because
see where
you're
that
talking
went
about-
because you had it. They made the whole production separate from WWE. They did it at Raw, but it was a WCW production. You had Scott Johnson or Scott something, whoever the announcer was for WCW, and Arn Anderson on color commentary.
Mhm.
And
But there again is where you get the what they would say the North or New York versus your South, and they had it just played off for a year. Played the two companies as two separate companies. Shane running WCW, Vince still running WWF, and then slightly at pay-per-views maybe, or had like Shane show up with a few guys or whatever, hint at, well, what are these guys doing, and just slowly build, like a slow build with a long-term booking. I think it would have worked a lot better.
Plus, a lot of those guys got shitted on when they walked through the door. Dean Malenko got shut on when he walked through the door.
If you go back in time, even to that match, what happens is halfway through the match, the WWE or F guys come out, beat them all up, and then throw them out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Literally threw them out the door.
On them the whole way through.
I don't know. It's kind of similar.
And I just want to say
Similar to now, where you see in the ratings with AEW and NXT, the fans don't translate. They don't really. Like, when I will be anxious to see what happens tonight when AEW did not have a show and what the NXT's numbers are, because I bet they didn't go up much because the fans don't translate much.
And I just want to say this too. If you look at it with the way they were handled, that makes you respect Eddie, Chris Benoit a lot more than at that point, because when they first got there, they were treated like trash. And for some reason, they got over. Same thing with Booker. He got over, and they went on to lament their greatness.
For me to answer that question with storyline that they mess up the most, I'd have to say the whole corporate ministry with the big reveal with Vince McMahon.
That's a good one too. And I'm sorry, I thought you were agreeing with Brandon on yours. I'm sorry.
That's no problem. That's no problem. I was jumping on to the statement of Brandon. This is my own, and if team for me to answer it, that would be the Vince McMahon angle being part of the corporate industry. They could have easily done that a lot better, and you could tell it was rushed. There was a lot of rush in that whole storyline.
Agreed.
all right.
All right. So let's move on to real life now. That was a good question. That was some good discussion.
We have to say rest in peace to Xavier from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my next bit of news. Is we lost another I would say legend in wrestling, even though he was never in a big company under a big name. The first Ring of Honor champion, Xavier, only 43. I'm really upset now because if it wasn't for COVID, we would have gotten to see him versus Jay Lethal, at least.
Was it covert, the cause of death?
Oh, no. Because of COVID cancellations, he and Jay Lethal were supposed to have a match in February for Futures of Past ROH.
Okay.
And, dude, that was going to be two of the biggest names ever in ROH.
Did you ever get a cause of death on that?
They haven't announced it yet. But, yeah, so he passed this week, and our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and all of his loved ones and friends and fans. And he was a major talent, great worker. I'm not sure who this is that I can't see their name.
Good day. How you doing?
Probably be Austin.
Yeah.
It's Austin.
Oh, it's Piers.
Probably because Piers is the only guy that ever says good day, lads.
You're good, man. You're good. Family. At the end of the day, family's first, bro. Family's
right.
Family always
at the end of the day. So
Absolutely.
Brandon, you're okay.
we can have you on another time. But please,
But
you hear the family.
the next bit of news I want to move into is the news that came out today. Renee Young has asked to leave WWE, and there's tons of rumors swirling around where she might be headed and what she might be doing.
She ESPN bound. I really think
I've heard ESPN. There's a lot of people hoping that she jumps over to AEW. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I don't see her leaving. As much as she probably wanted to work with her husband, I don't see her leaving WWE for AEW. I'm pretty sure she's going to ESPN. Her talents are being wasted in WWE. Unfortunately,
Does anybody know where Renee Young started from?
Oh my God, she's from Canada. Okay.
No. She started on the store in Toronto, and that's where she started. Same with Mike Remar, Morello.
Not everything has to link to Canada.
It's the truth. They were on. I can show you pictures on the score here in Canada. So I have photographic proof.
So has anybody thought about the possibility she may be going to work with Fox as closely as they were with that,
I mean, that's a good point.
That is good, yeah.
My only issue there, I think Fox is starting to regret that relationship now. When you go back and look at the numbers, they're not
real happy with SmackDown right now, but they were. It came out when Backstage ended. They were really happy with her.
Yeah,
they were really happy with her. In fact, if I recall reading right, they had a hand in picking her as part of that show.
They did. Yeah. It was her and CM Punk were their two hand picks.
Yep.
I just can't see her going over there right now.
Well, and I don't know this. I could be way wrong. I don't think her views would match up to Fox. I could be totally wrong. But I don't know.
The only reason why I say ESPN is because of the fact that they have changed. You can't be a part of that woke culture anymore over at ESPN. If you're a part of that culture, they'll get rid of you. See, i.e. Kerry Champion, see out, i.e. even more than Jamel Hill. So, and she's not a part of that woke culture. So as long as you're not a part of that woke culture, I think she'll do fine over there. I
believe she will too. I mean, I'm not going to rule it out that she may go to Fox because they really liked her. I could definitely see her, especially now that we have the possibility of having sports again. I could see her on the sideline.
Reporter.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
In fact, that would probably benefit her a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So I can see her on ESPN doing sports centers.
Of course, yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah. I mean, you got ESPN 1, ESPN 2, ESPN 3, ESPN Deportes. I mean, maybe right or left.
When they're bringing back the Ocho from Dodgeball. That's what I want to know. When they're bringing the Ocho back.
So much you can do with her, you know.
But F&A.
She may just go straight to work for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You never know.
Never know. That's true.
That'd be a way to get close to her husband.
That'd be right there.
Right there. Yep.
She does have a cookbook coming out, I heard. She does have a cookbook, so she may be doing some outside other interests other than wrestling or something like that. So
working with Rachel Ray.
And the Jazz need all the help they can get. All the help they can get.
Oh, yeah.
God, they help.
All right. So, next bit of news. The WWE announced a new type of fan experience this week that will launch tomorrow or Friday with SmackDown. It is the WWE Thunderdome.
This sounds like something out of Mad Max. That's honestly, that's what it sounds like. We're ready.
Yeah, where's Tina Turner as Auntie Entity? Where is she at?
So this is supposed to be a interactive fan experience to where they're going to put 1,000 people in the Amway Center, right? That's the one. And they've virtually
in the Amway Center, virtually.
Yeah,
not
1,000 people
live
virtually
people
in the Amway Center. There's going to be crowd noise. reactions. Like you'll be able to hear it all. Supposedly drones, pyro. Like truly, I said this before the show. To me, this is what WWE should have done from the very beginning. This is and I realized it would have taken them some time to get it together, but like we're 6 months into the pandemic. They tried to go the AEW route with the fans. It didn't work. Now they're doing this. And if it's me, I'm this $1 million company. This would have been the path I should have taken in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Like when you first knew that you were going to cancel shows for a while, you should have been working on this. You should have been getting this going. This should have been at least going for 3 months now.
Well, maybe they were working. You know what? Go ahead, Brandon.
Rob's going to play the.
No, I'm not going. No, I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to get any kind of copyright thing.
Not the video. I was meaning you're gonna play the advocate for WWE on this.
Well, yeah, maybe I am. You know, you're saying they should have been working on this. Maybe they have been working on this, and here it is.
I mean, I agree. I would almost agree with you if 2 or 3 other sports hadn't pulled it off first.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say.
What 2 or 3 sports? Okay, basketball did it.
Doing it. Hockey's been doing it.
Hockey is doing virtual fans?
Yeah. And there has been minor league baseball teams doing it.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with Gene, though. I think they stole it from Mad Max. I agree with Gene. I sure
I mean, and I'll give them this. Maybe they thought about it a couple of months ago and they've been trying to work out how it would work and get the building and all of that stuff. But, I mean.
I say no only because I know how fast rumors fly. We'd have heard something about it by now.
I'm sorry.
They sure did.
I can recall this a few months back. WWE has a fan council. I don't know if any of you guys remember this. I am that they send out surveys.
Oh yeah.
About with the, you know, how did you like the last pay-per-view and all that stuff. And there was a survey a few months ago. It's like, would you consider, you know, being a part of a broadcast where people would see your reactions? But they were talking about like having, at the time, I think they were talking about having 20 people around the screen and everybody seeing their reactions on television, you know, sort of like a Brady Bunch thing. But maybe that was the genesis and they expanded on it into this. Who knows?
Yeah, I used to answer those. They stopped sending me those. I guess I missed too many of them. But they used to.
I did win the $50 gift card once.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Like I said, I agree with you. I think they stole it.
Yeah.
Live from the Thunderdome. The Undertaker.
Welcome everyone to the Thunderdome.
The Undertaker versus Kane.
But I signed up and see what the experience is like.
We'll see how it goes because we got SmackDown, then we've got this week or pay-per-view, which is SummerSlam, and then we get to see what Raw is going to be like. So see how it works.
It's going to be interesting.
The way it sounds, we're going to have this until at least October because they have rented out that arena until I think they said October 30th. The rumor going around is the figure is about $450,000 to rent that arena for the 2 months.
Where they got that money from?
All because Vince doesn't feel
Saudi Arabia money.
Yeah. But all that much money just to get out of the performance center.
Yeah. Because the performance center has been a hot zone.
Boy, that's true.
How many cases of WWE? How many cases of have you heard from WWE that have caught the coronavirus? Compared that to how many cases AEW has.
Which most of theirs have been from contact of a WWE superstar.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Renee.
Jay, what's up, man?
All right.
Like Renee.
Our last little bit Is there any news that I'm missing that we haven't dived into?
Not that I can think of right off the top of my head.
All right, then I think this is a great chance to dive into our first commercial break. And then when we come back, we'll go right into the Aces and Eights tournament, the quarterfinals and the semifinals. So if you're listening to us on audio, stay tuned for some advertisements. If you're listening to us live right now, just wait 2 seconds. And we're back.
That wasn't too quick.
It really was.
Hey.
That's more like 30. That's more like 30 seconds.
You tripped me
Isn't
out.
this where you put? Isn't this where you push the button, Frank?
He needs a stopwatch. You should have had a stopwatch out for him, Rob. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
So Brendan had to step away for a second. But all right. So we're moving
We're
on
still live.
to the Aces and
We're live,
Eights
pal.
tournament.
The 8's tournament. Do you want me to run down the matches that we
I
still
actually got
have?
them right here. So
Awesome.
in the first
Yeah, Josh
bracket-
isn't doing anything. Let him do it.
You know what, Rob? Mute you for 10 seconds. And it's my 10 seconds. All right. So
That's why I'm talking about AEW, so I don't get muted.
all right. We ready for first is Moxley versus Butch Reed, Rob versus Will. Second is Simmons versus Pentagon, Will versus Rob. In the second bracket, we got Triple H versus McIntyre, Gene versus Rob. And then the last match is R-Truth versus Booker T and Will versus Will. All right. So we're going to dive straight into this. Oh, who do I want to go with? You know what? The match that actually stood out to me the most on this card was not one that we were talking about a lot, but it's Ron Simmons versus Pentagon Jr. We're going to go with that one first. And this is Will versus Rob. Will, you get the floor first, sir.
Okay.
And go.
Hang on.
All right. Ron Simmons, you're the first black WCW champion. The man was a powerhouse. And he was so over with the fans. He was also over outside of wrestling with his football over at FSU. He was so very, very popular. Be ready for the title. One of the few people who established African-American wrestlers. And just off that alone, I think he should get the win here. Is Pentagon Jr. a fantastic athlete? Yes. But if they really fought in real life, I think Ron Simmons would just wipe the floor with them. Particularly WCW Ron Simmons would just wipe the floor with them. He's got to be the guy to go with here. Again, tremendous athlete. And Arn Anderson always said the guy didn't have to work out to really throw you off, to throw you somewhere. You may work out like maybe once, twice a week, and that was it. That's all he needed. Had a respect for all his peers.
Time.
Really, he gets to win here.
I think that is the first time Will has went his whole time.
Yes, he has. Yes, absolutely.
Will got on the run that one. He was just like that.
Yep.
All right, Rob, you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't want you to think I'm not trying. For some reason, your solo layout does not always work.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No one wants to see us like with Mug anyway. Well, let's talk about Pentagon Jr. Let's talk about Pentagon Jr. and Ron Simmons. And I'm going to concede a point to Will on this point. Ron Simmons could wipe up the floor with Pentagon Jr. if he could catch him. I give Pentagon Jr. the edge in speed and innovation in his moves. with that point, with the speed of it, I think, Ron's going to have a hard time with him, and he hits him with enough shots and does have the strength to pick him up and put him in so many of his, power moves that Pentagon Jr. has and the lucha style. He could do it. Also, there's submission that Ron can be a part of that would not, that he could tap out easily, I think. So I'm going to give the edge to Pentagon Jr. I say he has cero miedo of facing Ron Simmons and beats him.
That's a good one. Both good arguments. Good arguments. All right. I'm going to go first. Truly, this one's really tough for me because I respect both of these guys so much and what they've done for wrestling and what they're still doing for wrestling. But truly, I was going to go opposite of this one. I was going to pick Simmons, but after listening to Rob, I have to go Pentagon because Pentagon's innovative moveset and his speed give him an edge over Ron Simmons, who was much more of a powerhouse. He didn't move super fast. Even if like Ron Simmons came out punching, hitting hard in the beginning, all Pentagon would have to do is last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and Ron Simmons would start to wear out. And I think it would probably be over. Now, if it's a quicker match, Simmons has a good shot. But I think Pentagon takes this one just for the innovative moveset and speed. Mr. Judge.
I'll go next.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
leave the judge for last.
We'll leave the judge last.
Where Josh went with Pentagon, I have to refrain, staying old school, and say I vote to Ron Simmons. Because once Ron Simmons gets his hand on Pentagon Jr., it's only going to take a few power moves. And one of the biggest moves that Ron Simmons has is his spine buster. It is one of the hardest spine busters next to the best spine buster in the game.
I agree.
And that is Arn Anderson. So I had to give my vote to the good old Ron Simmons. Now we go over to the judge.
Court's now in session.
Order in the court. I'll have a cheeseburger.
That's right. Medium crowd. We're watching our weight.
All right.
For me, the choice is very easy. This individual has everything it takes to be a champion. This individual comes out and makes a statement. Ron Simmons for the W. Only because I think, in my mind, I would think Ron would know what he's walking into. Slow him down completely. All Ron's got to do is grab a hold of him and just beat the piss out of him.
Yep.
I don't see Pentagon walking away as easily as we think. Don't get me wrong, cardio plays a factor. If Pentagon was smart and ran across the ring, sure, I would swing the other way. But Ron's a smart competitor, always has been. And, I'm definitely picking Ron Simmons for this one.
Dang. All right.
So it's a 2-1 vote.
All right.
Simmons moving on.
Congratulations, Will.
Simmons would spine buster the mask off of Pentagon Jr.
So what's the next match there we have, Mr. Matchmaker Josh?
All right. So the next one, I'm actually going to go with what people would probably tout the main event next, but I have another one picked for the main event. So we're going to go Triple H versus McIntyre, Gene versus Rob.
All right.
It's gonna be a tough.
Who gets the floor first?
I do, because I'm on the top of the bracket. No,
Wow.
McIntyre's on top of the bracket.
Sorry, I got that told to me wrong backwards.
Oh, that's no problem.
All right. Drew McIntyre versus Triple H. And again, I will concede the point with the experience factor. Triple H has it over McIntyre. But McIntyre is young. He is hungry. He is ready to prove the point that everyone has said. He was called the chosen one by Vince McMahon for a reason. And they probably said the same thing about Triple H long ago. Well, actually, they said Triple H was a mid-carder until he started getting it on with the boss's daughter. But that's another story altogether.
That's a topic we need.
McIntyre has learned his lessons from his mistakes in the past, and he is one of the best wrestlers in the world today. I say the youth factor takes it over Triple H. I think he's intellectually he's on par with Triple H. So McIntyre gets the win.
He did what with that man's daughter?
That's just a topic we really need to discuss. Just saying.
Let's just say, as Family Guy would put it, there were relations. Okay.
It was, and don't forget, there also was entanglement.
There was what?
There was also an entanglement too. Don't forget that.
Yes, there was an entanglement there too. Yes,
there was an entanglement there too.
It was a triangle. It was 3 sides.
Yeah,
and not like a circle. It's like a triangle.
All right.
All right, Gene's minute.
Gene, ready.
Go.
Triple H. What can I say about Triple H? 25 years in the business. We already know this. He's a very student of the game. He learned from Killer Kowalski himself. He's had multiple championships throughout the WWE. And he has not been on the good side of the WWE as well. He's learned to, as they'd say, eat shit and like the taste of it. And let me tell you, but he has also been a little bit of a degenerate over the years, but he has proven his luster with the WWE. And let me tell you, even though that, yes, Drew McIntyre would give him a great Claymore kick to the face, Triple H is still going to get up and give him a pedigree, and it's just going to be 1, 2, 3. Hall of Famer already, and yet to be probably a triple Hall of Famer. Triple H hasn't been in on his own, and then there's also Triple H gets to go in the numerous in the tag team, maybe the Superpowers or the one-man Ito trip with Austin and himself. But again, Triple H has done everything there possibly can be to do in the
Time.
WWE.
Order in the court.
Time and idiocy for the one-man power. The two-man power trip was a team, and if you think that team would ever make the Hall of Fame and make Triple H a triple Hall of Famer, bull.
Well, I was going to say evolution. I could have went with evolution.
All right. Will, you want to go first?
Yeah. This is a tough one for me. Because I'm actually a fan of Drew. He's come a long way from what he was.
Okay.
Oh my God, man! If you want somebody who started high, got to the bottom basement, and then worked his way back up, I got to give it to Drew for that part. But in terms of the two guys went at it, look. Triple H has done everything. He has a resume. He's beaten the best of the best, and he too went through somewhat of that with the curtain call. So I gotta give it to Triple H in this one.
So this one's tough for me.
It's tough, man.
But it's tough for me in a different reason. Like I love Triple H's character, but it's after the curtain call, I'm not sure he makes it out of the bid card had he not ended up falling for the boss's daughter. I just I'm not saying the man's not talented. I'm not saying it doesn't have exactly everything that Vince looks for in a superstar. But I think if it weren't for that, he would have always stayed on Vince's shit list. Because we all know Vince's shit list stays on. You stay on Vince's shit list for a long time.
As Bret Hart,
Randy Savage.
Tried to-
Randy Savage.
And Bret Hart and the Ultimate Warrior.
I think
Randy
Triple H
Savage.
tried to find his way to get off that list.
That's tough, though.
So God, and I respect what McIntyre has been able to do and everything he's been able to do. So I think to make this one interesting, I got to go McIntyre.
Now to the judge. Boom, boom.
Dun, dun, dun.
We need the SVU theme.
Hang on, real quick. Drake,
Yeah.
Jordan Drake brings up a great point on this one. He votes Drew because we don't compare him to anyone. We still always compare Triple H to HBK. Always. Drew stands alone, really, in what he's been able to do. The only guy to really be able to come close to doing what McIntyre's done is Jinder, but Jinder did it under different circumstances. They were going to an Indian market. They needed that appeal.
But how do you compare Triple H to HBK? I've never done that comparison.
I mean, that's not a very good comparison, but I know a lot of fans from that time really do.
I never have because they're two different wrestlers, two different gimmicks altogether.
Brandon, I think that message is for you.
You, Brandon. You're still
Triple H has always been in HBK's shadow. Always.
So let's see what the judge has to say.
You say shadow, but I wouldn't necessarily compare the two. Shadow is a better term.
So for me, yes, behind the scenes, we know he's with the boss's daughter. Yes, we know Drew McIntyre has done some very incredible things. He's come a long way from being the quote unquote chosen one to actually being the chosen one.
Damn, that's a good question.
Ooh, we'll come right back to that. That is good.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that down, but I'll bring that back up.
Yeah, we got.
For me, even if he rode off of HBK's coattails, the pure talent and charisma that was brought to that atmosphere at that time in the generational gap, Triple H, hands down, over McIntyre. Even if he rode HBK, Triple H was a household. He was a proven champion. How many? 13 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you can't take that away from him. He was one that he's had some of the tougher. He's had tougher matches than Drew ever has. I don't care. You can put that in the books.
Agreed.
So he's proven himself, and I think if you put both of them in their prime, Triple H comes out on top. Bow down to the king.
So real quick, we do have to come back to that. I don't know. I really don't. Like,
Good question.
If HBK hadn't had to go out because of all his issues and then come back and then get injured again, that's a good question that I really don't know how to answer.
I say no because at the time that HBK got injured, the business was already starting to lean toward the way of Austin.
That's true.
Right.
Austin was the golden goose that Vince McMahon had been waiting for.
And we already know the story behind the scenes about Undertaker being at Gorilla to make sure that HBK dropped the title, if anything, you know what I mean? So it was going to happen. Austin was coming out of that with the title because they wanted it.
Makes sense.
All right. So Triple H takes that one. We are down to the last two matches in the semifinals of this tournament, boys.
Quarterfinals.
Still quarterfinals because we start
It will turn into the semis. You know what?
That's that, Rob. You gonna beat you again.
All right. Next one. I wanted this one to be the main event, but I don't think it's fair to Will to make him face himself in the main event. So, R-Truth versus Booker T. Will, we've discussed this match several times off stage. I think we all know where you're going with it, but you can go ahead and explain yourself. If you want to just take your minute and explain why and where you're going.
Yeah, I'll take a quick minute. The reason why I picked Booker in this match, as much as I love R-Truth, his resume isn't there. His resume isn't compared to Booker's. Keep in mind, R-Truth is a former world champion, but you got to go back and look at what Booker T did in the business. He got over 2-3 times in the business itself. Now, hey, go back to his old days. Before WCW, he got over. WCW ended up getting over. WB, he got over. TNA Impact, he got over. And had the prettiest belt with that Legends title. Oh, that Legends title was so beautiful. But the resume is just there. He's had better matches, done a lot more stuff, and he's still doing things outside of the business that has made an impact on the sport too, i.e. Ember Moon. So I got to go with Booker T on that one. Again, I love R-Truth. I love everything he's done. 2-time former NWA champion, but I got to give it to Booker T on this
one. So that match goes to Booker. No contest. All right, final match of the night. Well, not final match of the night. After I do some configuring, then we'll. But final match of the quarterfinals, Rob.
I'm just being, hey. Somebody's got to keep you on the straight and narrow.
Okay, I'll do this nicely. I'll do this way. Coming in from us from AEW, the current AEW heavyweight champion, John Moxley versus
you were way too short on the John.
Yeah.
Oh well. I'm the announcer who made this one. Versus
That's what she said.
Butch Reed. Will Butch Reed versus John Moxley.
All right. So, Rob, are you top of the bracket on this one?
I am top of the bracket. Not like it's going to matter, but okay. As we go into this match, yes, it's once again another. I'm not going to say size versus speed because we know that Reed has the power, Reed has the strength edge in this match. Moxley brings to the table the cunning. And yes, Butch Reed was a cunning wrestler in his day. Moxley is another level smart. He knows so many ways to hurt you. He knows so many ways to beat you. He knows so many ways to injure you. But he has so many ways to plan a strategy. Look at the match with Chris Jericho with the eye patch and how he fooled Chris Jericho for so many weeks with that eye patch to take the AEW world title. And he has not lost it since, defeating such wrestlers as Brody Lee, Brian Cage, and so many others. Moxley takes this one.
On to Will.
Can I go? Can I go?
Yeah, you can go right out the door. Go ahead. Just don't worry about this match. Just go right out the door.
All right, real quick, because I think the thing that's going to hurt Hacksaw in this matchup is recency bias. I think that's the thing that's going to hurt him here. But if you go back and look at him, his minutes off stage were incredible. He also represented very, very well in WCW part of one half of the World Tag Team Champions Doom. Always a bigger, stronger, more powerful man. I think when you look at Hacksaw, I think while he wasn't better on the mic, I think it was very, very good. Like I said, hell of an athlete. Won titles almost everywhere he's been. He's got the experience in this match. He has the size in this match. I don't know if you could say he had better opponents, but I think he is a better athlete. And I think, again, if he did get a hold of Jon Moxley, I think it's done. I think it's over. Bray Wyatt did damage to him, and Bray Wyatt is nowhere near as strong as Hacksaw Butch Reed. So I got to go with my man, Butch Reed.
All right. This one I'm not. I go Mox.
It's tough, man, because Recency Bias can kill Butch Reed in this one.
I go Mox on this one just because I don't really know much about Butch Reed to be a fair comparison. So
for me, I know both guys, and yes, Hacksaw Butch Reed was devastating in his day in the ring. My sway to this is that Jon Moxley, I think, would out wrestle Butch Reed, where Butch Reed has the power, but Jon Moxley has that wrestling know-how, and that's where the match would go. And if it's a scientific, like we're using the mind, yeah, Jon Moxley has it for days, and Jon Moxley, because we've seen it in a similarity. If you want to compare the Moxley match versus Brian Cage, the bigger, stronger Brian Cage versus the more cunning Jon Moxley, and Moxley still came out with the win.
Mm-hmm.
So my vote goes to Jon Moxley.
I find myself in the same predicament as Josh. I don't really know a whole lot about the other one. So what I'm on, I would have to go Mox, just because I clearly don't know a whole lot about Butch Reed, and that's pretty terrible. I probably should learn up on it. But going off of what I know, Moxley.
all right.
Okay.
So the matches are Jon Moxley versus Ron Simmons, and we have a rematch of WrestleMania 19, Booker T versus Triple H.
All right. Let's dive right into this one. Moxley versus Simmons first. So this is going to be Rob versus Will. Rob, you are first, sir.
All right, it's very simple. Let's look at the bracket, shall we? And let's look at the path of Jon Moxley to get where we are right now. He defeated Shelton Benjamin, he defeated Will Ospreay, and he defeated Butch Reed. Now you have two great aerial wrestlers and a strong man who he has beaten. Moxley can do it all, and he has the smarts to do it all. And I thank you guys for bringing this up because it almost slipped my mind. Butch Reed or Ron Simmons has the strength like Brian Cage, and as we've just seen, Jon Moxley not only beat Brian Cage, made him tap out. I see the same thing happening here. Jon Moxley on to the finals of the Aces of 8's.
All right, Will.
Well, I appreciate your opinion on that, but I got to disagree. I think when you look at someone like Ron Simmons, I think Ron Simmons fought in the day where he had better competition. Again, the man beat Vader. He was in WCW. Gave Ric Flair and Arn Anderson hell over there. And back in those days, Ric Flair and Arn Anderson was part of the standard for what WCW is. And Ron beat everybody that got in his way in WCW. Now WWE, WWF run wasn't that great, but even then, he still fought Undertaker and gave him hell in that match for the title. Plus, he led the Nation of Domination. and you actually saw what he could do on the mic. So I just think between his athletic prowess, and again, for a big guy who was about 6'3", 270, he was quick. He was fast on his feet. You go back and look at that match against Vader, how he was winning in that match. He used agility against Vader. So I think he can do it against a smaller dude, and I think Jon Moxley would be no different. Once he gets a hold of him, that's it. It's done. And he got it.
Time.
All right. Gene, you go first on this one.
So, like Rob had mentioned, look at Jon Moxley. He's beat Shelton Benjamin. He's beat Will Ospreay, and just now Butch Reed. Then you go over and look at Ron Simmons, who has beat Kevin Von Erich, Naito, and just beat Pentagon Jr. All those names all wrapped into one, two guys. Man, it's seriously hard to choose.
One point. It wasn't Naito. It was Jericho.
Oh, Jericho. Sorry.
Yeah.
But with all that going down, with everything that we've seen, my vote goes to Ron Simmons, just because of era long and how he was, and he was able to be diverse throughout different eras. WCW, he was a champion. Come to WWE, became Farouk. We got to see the Nation of Domination. We got to see what he could do on the mic, and then he tailored in with John Bradshaw Layfield, and we got APA and the Acolytes of Destruction. So throughout that time, we've got to see many forms of Ron Simmons, and even today, even though that he wasn't wrestling, he still had one of the most biggest catchphrases in the WWE. Damn. So, and still got over. So for me, my vote goes to Ron Simmons.
All right. Well, we lost the judge for a minute. His camera froze. But I'm gonna talk for a second and maybe he'll come back. So on this one, this is another one of those matches. It's just really hard for me because Ron Simmons is probably one of my favorite characters growing up. Like, I loved APA. And then when he became just the one word damn guy, I loved that even more. But Moxley, to me, is carrying – he took what Jericho started with AEW, and he's really carrying them right now. Like, he is their champion, and I know everybody says, well, he's a WWE guy. They're just milking off of WWE.
Can't say that.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm sorry, it's not true. Just because you work for a company doesn't mean you are their guy. But we don't go around saying, oh, Shinsuke Nakamura can't be big in WWE because he's a New Japan guy. We don't do that with anybody except WWE talent, and I hate it. But that's a whole nother conversation. I think because of that and all that I see Moxley doing, he's already a Hall of Famer or a future Hall of Famer. And I know Ron Simmons is too. I think Moxley wins this match.
So one Mox, one Simmons, to the judge we go.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
As they say in over there in Law and Order, dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm torn on this one. To me, it becomes you know what? As much as Moxley loves pain, Simmons is the man to give it to him. And equally take it. Moxley is he's the future. There's no taking that from him. He is running with that. He is literally carrying a company on his back. But my choice is Ron Simmons.
This could turn into a very, very interesting final.
So we have Ron Simmons in the finale.
All right, final match for tonight, and this will set up our championship for next week. Woo!
Booker T versus Triple H.
If you're watching, this is my dance.
And Will gets the floor first.
All right, Will. You ready for your spot in the championship versus your own guy?
Okay, very, very quickly, I do want to say this real quick. I take some emotional with this because of the fact I always felt when they fought that first time around, Booker got screwed. Because if you go back and look at that match, Booker was whipping his ass. And then all of a sudden, Triple H just came out of nowhere and won that match. The only reason why I think he won that match is because he didn't know what Booker T was. He didn't know that Booker T was going to be a future Hall of Famer. He didn't know that Booker T was going to impact the business the way that he did. But if you go back, they fought twice. If you go back, in that very first match, Booker looked like he was going to win that match. And then all of a sudden, you just had Triple H come and last minute and win it. Come on, get out of here with that. Look, Booker to me at that point was more established. Booker at that point was more over to me at that point. So I got to go with my guy Booker. He got screwed.
Time.
So real quick, before I move on real quick, Rambo brought up a great point that I want to bring up. This is exactly what I was saying. You can't have a national promotion without taking guys from other promotions. It just doesn't work.
Yep.
You can't do it.
That's true.
Thank you, Rambo. Thank you.
That's
now,
true.
can we spread this to all the other members of the IWC?
Now.
All right, Gene, you ready?
I'm ready.
Finals. You're one man. One man.
Go.
Triple H, yes, the first match, I will give it to it. It was looking like Booker T had his heyday, and then all of a sudden Triple H came out of nowhere, but that shows the prowess of Triple H. Again, Booker T is great. He's a two-time Hall of Famer. I see Triple H, future Hall of Famer as well. He's already in with D-Generation X. He's going to be in single, and then he's going to be in with Evolution. But again, Triple H, just in the category of matches we're looking at, where Booker T was the small fish in a small pond, comes over to WWE and gets over, and then swimming with the big guys like Triple H, where he was established. They did, yes, I will say this all day, creatively, they stifled Booker T, but Booker T still got over. But I still had to give it to Triple H. At the end of the day, Triple H, just his accolades speak for himself, and it'd still be Triple H.
This is a tough one.
You gonna give Will his minute?
Already did. He was first.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did I not? I was like, make me feel bad, Brandon.
What did I do?
Oh, man.
My bad.
Goes to Brandon. Goes to Brandon. Hello, Brandon. Can you hear us?
Yeah, bro.
All right.
Okay.
So, you know what, Rob? Since you got eliminated at the last
Since I finally get to judge a match, because I've been either competing or
Brandon started off with seven of his 8 making it, and now he's out. We want to hear from Rob first on this one.
okay. First of all, Josh, you're a dick, so there you go. We heard that part. But in all seriousness,
How many
sucks.
times did I get for being out in the first week?
Canada sucks, by the way, too. So, if I'm looking at the two of these competitors, they're both I would say evenly matched.
Sleep.
Both have both of them have the both have the great resumes and are Hall of Famers. Unfortunately, like it was explained to me earlier with McIntyre, Triple H has done more in the big match situations than Booker T has. So at that, for that alone, I'm giving it to Triple H.
Josh. Okay. So Josh, where's your vote?
Oh my God.
I actually meant to put up. I clicked this one and it popped as I clicked it. That's the one I wanted to put up.
It's about even, Rambo. It's about even right now. It's about even right now in my eyes.
Oh man.
All right. So on this one,
Yeah.
it's tough for me again, but just like Rob said, just from sheer accolades of Triple H, everything that the man has done, everything that he continues to build, I think it's Triple H.
And now to the judge.
I disagree with you too because the one thing about Booker, he did it on his own. He didn't do it with Stephanie.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm just saying.
I have to agree with Will Booker all day.
He did it by himself.
In
He
a fair,
did it with Stephanie McMahon. That's the question. If he didn't have Stephanie McMahon, would he be where he was? That's the question.
Knows.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100% not.
at the end of the day, no, he would not. He sealed his fate doing what he did with the boss's daughter. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But in a fair, competitive, professional level, Booker T would mop the floor with Triple H. I believe that with everything in my fiber. I'm telling you, yes, Triple H has the advantage. We all know why. It's no secret. But Booker, as far as competitor, hell, I would almost go to say Booker's had tougher matches. I would almost say he's really had it worse in his career from a lot of standpoints.
Oh yeah.
But Booker, to me, deserved better, and
especially after how he was booked in the WCW and then came over to WWE. It was almost like a slap to Booker's face because
that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was.
Booker was the guy. I would give him that. Booker was the guy, and how they should have played it over when he came to WWE as still being that top guy. It should have been top guy versus top guy of the WWE.
Well,
and rolled with that angle.
At the end of the day, that wouldn't have even been completely fair because you're on the brand that's going to win. We all know that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if it was a straight up like let's throw booking and writing and everything and just let them go straight out competition. Two top guys
in a fair and equal opportunity competition. Booker T wins.
There you go.
Plus, people forget. He beat Goldberg clean at the height of his career.
Yes.
People forget that too. He beat Goldberg clean.
Don't get me wrong here. Hands down, I believe in Booker T. I have to pitch for my guy, but I believe in Booker T. I see it in all fairness. You know what I mean? But so with that being said, as we know now, it is going to be the final.
Can I change my vote? Can I change my vote now?
No.
Because something just popped into my head. You talk about, you guys were talking about the toughness of Booker T and had tougher matches. Name me any other person in two different companies that went through a best of 7 series with Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
and it ended 4-3.
And listening to you two talk at the end, I kind of wanted to change my vote too.
Yeah.
But it comes down to Triple H versus Ron Simmons.
But it also means Will's not facing himself either.
Yeah. I have a legit shot of, I have a legit shot of winning. Yeah.
So now it's and who would have thunk my one guy would make me all the way to the final?
Oh God, how we regret that.
Oh man. Will, you have to win because I
Which
do not.
Bosch's daughter are you having? No, never mind. I don't want to know the answer to that question.
All right, boys. So we're gonna do this up next week. You each get to come up with a 2-minute pitch, whatever you want. Throw in video, do whatever you want with it, but make a pitch for your guy to why they should win this tournament.
I can't believe I made it to the finals. Wow.
Me and you too,
Yeah,
bro.
me neither.
For me and you too, there. Well, me and you too. Like,
Salty.
this we've gone through. Who would have ever thought?
I'm so
Emerson
happy I've got
family
a set of
versus-
screwdrivers right by my camera here for this screwing that I'm taking. So
the Emerson family versus the Ebony Experience.
Oh man.
All right. So before we close out this show, we got a couple of housekeeping things we got to get to. First off, our big man, our new man, announced a giveaway in the Paradigm Shift today. What?
Do we have video confirmation?
We got
You didn't see that?
robbed.
Boom! There it is.
$25 to Outback Steakhouse.
Bro.
So, as he said in the video, please like and share the video. Go and like our Facebook. And then, Brandon, did you put a deadline?
Let's say today's Wednesday, a week from today.
Yeah, we'll announce the winner on next show.
There you go.
Yeah, so we will draw it and figure it out before the show and announce it on next week's show. Also,
And it is from my memory, if it serves correctly, what Brandon had put down. It's 25 for 25. So the first 25 that can get an extra 25 can win that $25 gift card.
Yes. And true. It's true. But guys, when you see that some of your people have liked the page, do me a favor because I am a busy man. These gentlemen here are busy. Excuse me. If y'all could go to that post and tag whoever liked our page, you'd save me a whole bunch of trouble. But if not, we're still going to make sure everything's accurate and correct. And next week, like the boss man said, we're going to announce a winner. And yeah, I'm excited. It's the first giveaway I've actually done, guys.
There you go.
The first one on the show, man. It's
First one on the show.
And we still have our
inaugural.
going on for the $50 Pro Wrestling Tees gift card.
Ah,
If you go like and follow on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube, you are entered into that giveaway. That's all you have to do. And guys, we are getting closer and closer on Facebook to that 250 followers where we're going to do that awesome, one-of-a-kind Paradigm Tees t-shirt. I can't speak tonight. Paradigm
Tees.
One of a kind. Yeah. Rob screwed Rob. But all our information is rolling down, has been the whole show. All that information right there. You can find us on YouTube at Paradigm Shift Wrestling. You can find us on Facebook at Paradigm Shift Wrestling. You can find us on Anchor at Paradigm Shift Wrestling.
We make it so easy. It's just Paradigm Shift Wrestling, and that's all you got to do.
And on that note, I do want to
I got to see before you say that. You got to pull up Rambo's comment on here. The one guy that Gene is in the finals with who isn't Canadian.
But I think I said way back I called my champion Triple H. I do believe so. So
You did.
You did.
No, you didn't.
no, who was it then, Rob? Can you, if you could correct
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. Okay.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm still
Tomato,
here.
tomato.
Right?
But I do want to also throw this out. We are here at the Paradigm Shift are working on some big things, some big things coming out very soon. Stay tuned to the Paradigm Shift. You should follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, subscribe, because we got big things coming out that are going to be awesome for all of our fans.
Big things popping, little problems dropping.
Little but if you will,
baby.
you take us out, sir.
If you will. All right, everyone. I want to say thank you for joining us on this edition of the Paradigm Shift. Don't forget to join us next week. We got the finals of the 8's and 8's. My boy Ron Simmons will be in there against Gene's Triple H. So don't forget to join us for that. I got a lot of exciting news coming through the channel right here in the Paradigm Shift. Certainly follow us for all the giveaways. Follow us on all social media. Subscribe on YouTube. Please follow along with us.
Check out Nerdvana on Saturdays.
Yes, Nirvana will be this Saturday. We got some things coming out of Turnpike there too. And gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for being with us, being with me.
Oh, I forgot something.
Yes,
We're on iHeartRadio.
yes,
iHeartRadio.
How did we
Check us
forget
out on
that?
iHeartRadio.
yes. If you have iHeartRadio, we are there. You can definitely check us out on iHeartRadio. So if you're there, please give us a follow or a like there. Gentlemen, thank you for being here with me tonight. And thank you for everybody
You will
out.
all follow the Paradigm Shift. You will all follow the Paradigm Shift.
Thank you guys for being with us tonight. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you again next week right here, Paradigm Shift Wrestling. Take care, everyone.
Stay cocky.